Hey guys, welcome back to Art with Miss Therese. I think in a couple of days it's going to be Mother's Day. So I had some requests from some really, really nice people to come up with a Mother's Day little project. So we've got about three, and they're all going to involve drawing and using some of the things that we have at home. So what I decided to do for a couple of things, and this one is made out of a cereal box and some scrap paper that I had, and some other paper that was lying around, and a rubber band. So what I thought would be kind of fun to do pictures of moms and their babies, animals. So there's a hen and her chicks. There's a whale and her calf. And this is an owl and her owlet. And then what I did on this part is just made a little message for my mom. And there's lots of blank pages in here, so you could add other messages if you wanted. We're going to do a couple other things. We're going to take a blank card and do a little work with that. And then we're also going to do some paper folding. This one is really fun. So we're going to get started with all these kind of fun things for a little Mother's Day gift. But you can also give the gift to somebody else if you want. You can give it to an aunt or an uncle, anybody else, a good friend. But it's just kind of a fun way to use illustration or drawings with a little bit of sort of invention from the things that we have hanging out. So here is obviously a cereal box, and I made this one. This one I think is 4 by 8 inches, but you can decide however you want to do it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold it, match the corners. It might be a little tricky to fold, but if you're patient, you can do that. Crease it with your thumb or your fingers. And sometimes what's kind of fun to do is to do this a couple of times, both ways. So that'll give you, this is going to be the cover of your little book. And then I'm going to do the same thing here with the pages. And you could put in a lot of pages. Folding them separately, just because I'm going to get a little bit more accurate crease on them. We're not going to put the book together right now. We're going to kind of just look at the parts of it, and then once we've finished the parts, we'll put it together. So I'm going to keep one of these pages for my outside cover. I'm thinking, I'm going to use one of the things that I learned in the first lesson. And you guys remember the scribble trees? Might be fun to have the cover be something that you've already done, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be anything that you would like to draw. And again, we're doing the crayon resist, so you press pretty hard with the crayon, like that. You don't have to have the same number of trees on the front as the back. We're going to do, this is going to warp a little bit, but that's going to be okay. And notice that I have a piece of paper underneath this. I have a tendency sometimes to paint my table, and that might not be appreciated in your household. So again, I'm using a lot of water here with my crayon resist. And, leaving it kind of streaky is sort of fun. Kind of gives a little bit of character. Things do not have to be perfect. So we're going to let that dry. We can still do our border like this, which is going to look nice inside. You could write a little story if you wanted. You could write a little note to your mom. You could do a picture of anything that you wanted. But what I want to talk about is how to letter things. So if you want to write the word mom here and you want it to be even in this space, kind of very lightly go across like that with your pencil. I bet you can hardly see that. Kind of eyeball the middle, okay? So if you want to write the word mom, it has 3 letters. And they're the same on either end and the same in the middle, and that's called a palindrome. And also, gosh, when I get to looking at this, if you turn it upside down, it could also be wow. So you could make something kind of fun like mom, wow, or wow, mom. But where I'm going here is how to letter something like this. And it's a palindrome. I really like that word. So the O is in the middle. And so if I find the middle of the line where I'm going to draw things, I'm going to do the O right in the middle. This is going to be a block letter. I'm just outlining it in pencil. And then mom, just kind of carefully lettering this, making it look nice and even. Block letter again. can really increase your skills by practicing things like this. So there's a nice mom, and what we could do here is we could find the middle again, which I think is about here, and we could do another one. We could go like that, and we could make these letters even a little bit wider. Letters are just like drawing. They're a design, and so the more you write something or the more you letter something, probably the better you're going to be at drawing. So there's a wow mom, and I could probably put a heart right here. You could color it if you wanted. You could paint it. I'm thinking this one I might paint. Clean my brush off here and make it, I think I'm going to do the wow in orange. I'm going to just take a little bit of water, a little bit of paint, not too much, so I still have a lot of control over it. There, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just sort of have fun kind of filling it in. And the more you do this, the more you're going to be able to do it, maybe with just even a single, kind of a single stroke. I'm washing my brush off again, going over to my paint rag. I'm going to do Mom in pink, or, oh gosh, that's magenta. See how I'm just letting that brush kind of almost guide itself. And again, it's not perfect, but I think it says what it needs to say. So that's just a trick with lettering. So just for fun too here, how about if we maybe colored in that border like this. And notice I'm just kind of pulling my brush across here. Just a real light, sort of a light kind of touch here. This kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more complete. If I wanted to use more of the space here, I could do some fun things like this. I could do a whole bunch of little dots. Just kind of livens it up a little bit, makes it a little more decorative. But if you like it plainer, that's fine too. So we're just going to do a bunch of these. And so kind of pretend that we've done all the other pages, or you could leave the other pages blank. Like I say, if you want it to be a list thing for your mom, or a diary, or a journal, or little things that you could almost give her this book and you could write down something really nice every day. And I bet you your mom would like that. And maybe give you a little more free time after you've done your homework. All right, so we're going to come back here, and that's my cover. And this is pretty much almost dry. And I'm going to take a glue stick. You could use any glue that you have hanging out. Or you could even use Scotch tape. If you don't have any glue today, you could use Scotch tape. You could staple it on. There's a lot of ways to do the same thing to get like a different effect, but you still get to produce the same thing. So I'm going to put this down like this, even it as much as I can. Press it. Make sure that the corners have glue on them. Fold it over like that. And we're just going to put these pages in. These are blank. Here we go. Even that out. Put this one in here. Get that rubber band we had. And again, if you don't have a rubber band, that's okay too. You could take a piece of string and tie it. Just kind of use your imagination. After doing a little research, I just found out that a word that you can turn upside down and it turns into another word is called an ambiogram. So now we have both a palindrome and an ambiogram. It's kind of fun. This is one of the reasons I really love to draw things, because you're constantly learning stuff. The next one we're going to do is going to be this kind of fun one here. And I have, looks a little complicated, but trust me, it's easy. So when you're done with this one, you get a nice little book that you could turn into the same thing, or it just could be a little book. You could draw anything you wanted on it. It's kind of cute. So the way this works is you first fold it a lot of folding today. You fold it in half like this. And I hope you're taking some time to stop and pause the video too, because I do have a tendency to kind of run through these things. And then you fold it again like this into the middle. You fold it into the middle again like this. And then what you do is you open it back up again. So we have 4 folds, and then we're going to fold that in half again like this. Get it nice and even. It's a little bit kind of stiff paper, but it's going to work either way. Fold it like this. Now, this is going to be the tricky part. What we're going to do is we are going to make a cut from this to this. So we're going to go, let's see, these are in quarters, so we're going to go a quarter of the way into that corner and a quarter of the way into that corner. Okay, so what we're going to do now that we have it folded like that, we're going to refold these other ones here. Okay, just so we have a nice crease like that. And then what we're going to do is bring it up like this, and you're just going to cut to this corner, which is going to cut to the same corner on the other side. So I'm just going to make one shortcut. Shortcut, how do you like that? That's a good pun, or a bad one. So now I have a nice even cut in the middle. And so what we're going to do with this, again, is like we did with the other. And ta-da, you get this little sort of magic book. Okay, the last card here that we're going to do, remember there's lots of different kinds of cards. This is just like sort of a plain card. And so if what you feel like is kind of doing like a regular old plain card, you can kind of jazz it up a little bit. I have some scraps from another project. And I'm thinking I'm going to do kind of a fun little design here for this one. And I'm going to put that across like that. I'm going, my imagination's going, what can I do with this? What would be kind of fun to do with this? So now I'm thinking, if you remember, we're going to just repeat another little project that we did. And remember when we used Q-tips? So I'm thinking, what if I did a little Q-tip right here. I'm going to switch the other side. Grab another color. Like that. And maybe come back in with a color crayon. And they have sort of a kind of a crazy tree that's kind of looks like it's got like lots of little balloons, or it could be a lot of little balloons, but that's kind of a nice sort of just easy, simple design. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use some other scraps that I found, and I'm going to hide these inside. You could either glue them or they could be loose, however you want to do that. And you could write kind of fun little messages to your mom on this, might be kind of fun, and then hide them in there. And then so when you give her the card, she'll be surprised with nice messages. You could write Happy Mother's Day here. You could do anything you want, but those are 3 different ways to do cards. So these are 3 things you could do for your mom, or like I said, anybody else in your family or somebody that you really thought was special. We've got the little rubber band books. This was a special one that we folded that you could turn into anything for your mom. You could do lots of really cool like little drawings on that. And trust me, your mom will keep this forever. And then this is a card that we used some scraps, picked up our old Q-tips and paint. And oh my gosh, look at, I opened up my card and I got surprises in here. You could write something for your mom that says, "You're the best, I love you." This would be my favorite. Ticket, I'll clean my room every day. So have a really good Mother's Day, all of you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time.